Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying Language Advocacy Day so far. So for our next segment, I am excited to introduce Dr. Elaine Gold, the Executive Director of the Canadian Language Museum, speaking about language advocacy through the exhibits. Elaine initiated the founding of the Canadian Language Museum and oversees its operations. She's a PhD in linguistics and MA in art history and has a background in arts administration and curatorial work. Dr. Gold taught linguistics at the University of Toronto for over 20 years. She's lived in central, western, and northern Canada and is dedicated to promoting and protecting this country's rich language heritage. She's the recipient of the 2019 Achievement Award from the Canadian Linguistic Association for her work with the Canadian Language Museum. So thank you, welcome Elaine, and let's give her a warm welcome. Thank you.
Well, hello, and thank you very much for that introduction. And I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to present a slideshow. Okay. Okay, I hope you can all view that. Okay, good. Okay, before I talk about language advocacy, I do want to share some information about the background of the museum. So the Canadian Language Museum is located on Glendon College campus, and you can see Glendon Hall, a historic building here, and the museum is in the wing on the right, and there's a close-up of the entrance to the Canadian Language Museum. The museum was founded 10 years ago with the following goals: to promote an appreciation and understanding of all the languages spoken in Canada and of their role in the development of this nation, to raise awareness about Indigenous languages and participate in reconciliation, and to facilitate dialogue on fundamental language issues that are at the heart of the future of Canadian society, such as bilingualism, multilingualism, language endangerment, preservation, and revitalization. We believe that what we do plays a very important role in language advocacy. Our main focus has been on traveling exhibits, and this is a photo of our exhibit, Beyond Words, Dictionaries, and Indigenous Languages at the Markham Public Library. Over the past 10 years, we have created 8 traveling exhibits, see them here, and 3 online exhibits. And we also have other things on our website, including a video about Indigenous languages to Wampum, and a booklet that can be downloaded for free about Indigenous languages in Canada. The museum's exhibits have been displayed across Canada in libraries, universities, high schools, community centers, and museums. These different locations make our exhibits accessible to people of diverse backgrounds in both large cities and small communities. And this image shows the Cree exhibit in the community center in Moose Factory. Our exhibits play an important role in educating the public about the variety of languages that are spoken across Canada. The next few slides are taken from our traveling exhibit, A Tapestry of Voices, Celebrating Canada's Languages, and from our virtual exhibit, Messages from the Mosaic. This map shows the variation in the largest 3 languages in each province. So, for example, if we look at New Brunswick, you can see the largest 3 languages are English, French, and Mi'kmaq, whereas in Saskatchewan, the largest 3 languages are English, German, and Cree. This slide shows the growth in 20 mother tongue heritage languages in Canada between 2011 and 2016. And that's the last date census figures were available. For example, you can see big growth in the Arabic language, so you can see from 2011 to 2016, and in Tagalog, 2011, 2016. All of these languages have more than 100,000 speakers, so they're all very large in Canada. This image illustrates clearly the different languages that are spoken at home in Canada. So the biggest house is for the homes where English is spoken. This house for the homes where French only is spoken. And this, the third largest house, shows where English and a language other than French is spoken. And that's almost 4 million people in Canada live at home, speak 2 languages, English and a language other than French. This clearly shows the type of bilingualism that is predominant in Canada. And we can compare it to just over 1 million speakers of English and French. A very important part of our role is educating Canadians about Indigenous languages. So this image shows the relative sizes of the 12 Indigenous language families in Canada, and it shows the number of mother tongue speakers for each language family. So you can see that it ranges from 75, sadly, only 75 mother tongue speakers of Haida, all the way up to 144,000 speakers of Algonquian languages. And the Algonquian language family includes Cree and Ojibwe and Anishinaabe-Moan, 2 of the very largest Indigenous languages in Canada. We have several traveling exhibits that deal specifically with Indigenous languages. And as I mentioned, we also have a booklet that can be downloaded from our website about Indigenous languages in Canada. This image is from a video on our website called Turo Wampum, and you can see it's about the challenges of preserving Indigenous languages in Toronto. So there are big challenges in preserving languages in a very big multicultural center. Our exhibit, Read Between the Signs, uses archival photos to look at the presence of different languages in Toronto's streetscapes over 150 years. Which languages are very visible on our streets? Which languages are invisible? This picture shows a municipal sign that says, "Please do not feed the birds," in 5 languages. So English, French, Italian, Portuguese, and Chinese. And what's very interesting is someone has also scratched in the message in Russian. So this is someone who felt that their language should also be visible in Toronto. Unfortunately, Indigenous languages have mostly been invisible on Toronto streets. But recently, a few street signs have been created with the Anishinaabe-Moan name. So in this slide, you can see the name Davenport Road, and then the Anishinaabe name Gete Onagaming also. And if you'd like to see this sign, it's at Spadina and Davenport. These are the steps leading up to Casa Loma. The museum plays an important role in sharing information about the suppression of Indigenous languages and language loss and the role of residential schools. This exhibit panel refers to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action concerning language rights. This is just one of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's 5 calls to action concerning Indigenous language rights and the government's responsibilities for language revitalization. The museum strongly supports these calls and believes in the underlying principle that is stated in number 1 here, that Aboriginal languages are a fundamental and important element of Canadian culture and society, and there's an urgency to preserve them. Much language advocacy is concerned with the legal status of languages. This exhibit panel explores what it means for a language to be official, both federally and provincially. It describes a variation across the country. Did you know that the Northwest Territories has 9 official Indigenous languages in addition to English and French? Language advocacy is very concerned with sign languages as well as with oral languages. And this slide is from our most recent exhibit, Sign Languages of Canada. It describes recent legislation recognizing the status of Canada's sign languages. So you can see the Accessible Canada Act refers to American Sign Language, Quebec Sign Language, LSQ, and Indigenous Sign Languages. And Bill C-91 includes supporting Indigenous Sign Languages as well as oral Indigenous languages. Our exhibits share information about languages that might be unfamiliar to the viewer, and they also promote pride in one's own language. We believe that appreciating the value of one's own language and respecting the value of other languages spoken in Canada is an essential basis for advocacy work. And this slide shows Cree children learning from the Cree exhibit about their language, as well as learning about their culture. And this is in Fort Vermilion, Alberta. We believe that our traveling exhibits are making an important contribution to language advocacy in Canada. And we are working together to promote the languages of Canada. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, Elaine, for that enlightening take on how language advocacy has many shapes and ways of being pursued. Make sure you all follow the Canadian Language Museum on Twitter and subscribe to their monthly newsletter that will keep you posted on the various language advocacy efforts across Ontario. All links have been put in the chat.